Living with Nigerian parents can be so frustrating. Hi guys, today we'll be having a girl chat on how to be independent when living with your Nigerian parent. And when I say independent, I mean finding your purpose, doing what you want and what you love, and doing something unconventional from what our parents are used to. We know that can be a struggle. I wanted to have this conversation because most of the successful young ladies we see now, they don't live with their parents. So it's easy to have that mindset that you cannot achieve your goals or you can't become successful because you don't have that freedom while you're living with your parents. You can achieve your goals and you can become successful even when living with your parents. We are going to break that stereotype. Yes, me and you are going to break that stereotype. I currently live with my parents, and when I was schooling, I was not schooling in Abuja, so I wasn't at home. So I understand perfectly how it feels to not have freedom or to feel like you don't have freedom. And I know a lot of students are going through this also because of the ASU strike. You are used to being alone, having your freedom to do whatever you want, but now that you're with your parents, you don't really have that much freedom. Living with Nigerian parents is a whole journey on its own. I don't know if you can become a pro at it, but I have some tips that will make it easier, a little bit easier. There are some days you just feel annoyed, you feel frustrated, you feel like they don't understand you, or you are feeling like things are different now, their times are different, things have changed, which is something you should never say to an angry Nigerian parent. And that brings me to my first point, which is be wise. You need to apply wisdom when dealing with your parents. Respect is a big thing in this part of the world. So even if you disagree with them, you need to be respectful. Be wise. It's not everything you think you're going to say. You also need to develop thick skin. It's not everything that your parents say to you that should get to you. A lot of Nigerian parents say hurtful things or they compare you to your siblings, to your neighbors, to your friends. Like, why did that person get that? Does the person have two heads? You, what's wrong with your own head? Why can't you get? Does that person have two heads? A lot of parents actually do this, and if you take everything to heart, you are just going to have low self-esteem and you will not be sure of yourself. So you need to develop thick skin and ignore some things. It's not everything that I said to you that you need to take to heart. You need to understand that they are also not saying it intentionally to hurt you. They're just trying to correct you in the best way they think it is, or to they are trying to put you in the right path in their own way. That's the way they believe is best, even though we know it's not the best way, but that's their own thinking and that's what they think is best. So you need to know have this mindset so that when they are doing some certain things, you will understand and you won't take it to heart so much. Next tip I have is communication. Communication is very important. You need to communicate with your parents. So if they are doing something you don't like the comparison thing I mentioned, now if they are doing that, you can have a discussion with them and you don't even need to be a serious sit down discussion. You can just bring it up when the atmosphere is lively or when people are joking. Mommy, I don't like what you did. I don't like when you do this because it always makes me feel this way. I don't like it. Yes, I know what I did is wrong. I'll try to do better. Blah blah. You don't. It doesn't need to be a serious sit down conversation. Just bring it up, and most parents will actually adjust when they understand how you feel about it, and when they understand that their method isn't really the best way. If it's something serious like a career change, you bring it up to them slowly. You don't just sit them down and just tell them. If they want you to be a medical doctor and you want to be a fashion designer, you don't just sit them down and say, "Ah, I don't want to be a doctor anymore. I want to be a fashion designer." Of course, they'll shut you down. So you want to leave medicine to become a tailor.
Oh my days, irú ọmọ wo wá rèé nítorí Ọlọ́run. Mo jẹ jìyà lórí àwọn ọmọ yìí o. Mo jìyà lọ, you will move out.
So this is where being wise comes in. You're going to just walk up the ideas slowly to them. You just introduce them to that word little by little. You can just be having random conversation. Ah, do you know how much fashion designers make? Do you know how much they charge per dresses? You don't even need to do this to be a fashion designer. The benefit of this, maybe you bring up the disadvantage of medicine. Ah, most doctors are actually stressed. They don't do this. They don't. You have to open their mind up to the opportunities. Let them know that yes, that is actually a good career path, or people are actually successful in that career path. But when they have no idea, of course they're going to turn you down. So you just need to be wise and take it slowly. Best way to do this is to just start that whatever you have in mind, just start. Probably start it as a side hustle for now. And as you're starting it, as they see you being successful, when you bring up the idea that you don't want to do that anymore, you now want to do this. They already see that you have been successful at this thing, or like this thing is really a good idea. So when they're already seeing you acting that out, it's easier for them to be welcoming to the idea. But when they have no knowledge about it at all and they've not seen you doing, they don't know if you are good at it, they don't know if you'll be successful at it. They need to be harder for them to just accept. So the next point is to take action. If you want to be independent, get independent. Start making moves, take action. Make moves that will help you start making money. If you want to do something that you know they will not approve, but you know is the best for you, and I'm talking about a career path. You want to change your career path, and you know they will not approve, but you know that yes, this is what I want, and this is what will work for me. Just start. Don't need to tell them. Just start. This sounds like a bad advice, but that's just how it is. You just need to start. Start. You don't need to tell them. Just start because the process of you telling them, oh, here's what I want to do, is just opportunity for them to discourage you. It's opportunity for them to turn you down. But when you start, by the time you tell them, you've already started. So what's going to happen is it's either they accept it or they keep quiet. Even if they try to discourage you, you've already started. So what's the point? You started, you have to continue where you started. And this is not just with parents, this is just general. When you have something you want to do, you don't need to broadcast it, you don't need to start telling people. When action speaks louder than words, when you start, let people know. A lot of people, when they think of this, oh, I want to do this, I want to start a business, I want to. You keep telling people you want to, but you never do. Even if people encourage you, you never do. So stop talking, get to work, just start. When you start and they see you being successful, it's easy for them to support you. When they already see you being successful, they are not willing, they are happy to support you. Like I said earlier, once they see you are doing well, it's easy for them to accept that fact that okay, this is what she wants to do, this is her life, fine. But when you are still dependent on them, you don't have your own thing, you are not trying to do anything, and you cannot dictate to them what you want to do because you are still dependent on them. When I finally decided to start this channel, after it has been on my mind for years, I didn't tell anybody, and that isn't really because they would discourage me, but it's also because I didn't want to think of excuses. When you start telling people, when you start talking too much instead of taking action, you start thinking of excuses. I didn't want to take on the excuses. I had a bad phone. I didn't have gadgets. I didn't have lights. I didn't even have any accessories and stuff. So I didn't want to think about any of that, and that's why I never told them. So when you start telling people, when you start telling your friends, that's when you start making excuses, and that's when you start having a million reasons why you shouldn't do what you want to do. So just start, take action. Next tip is don't feel entitled. Your parents don't owe you. When you finally decide to take action, be ready to work for what you want. No one owes you anything, and your parents certainly don't owe you. They are providing the basic things for you. So when it comes to the pursuit of your passion or your career, it's left for you to do the work. They are not going to spoon feed you. Stop making excuses. There are a lot of people that like that victim mindset of like, oh, my parents don't do this, my parents don't do this. What have you tried to do? What have you tried to do to actually take action? That is not just words. Stop having that mindset of being a victim. Like, oh, because my parents did this, my parents did this, I'm not doing this. Stop that. That is bullshit. An example of this is I had a video I wanted to film. I like to plan, so I already planned that okay, this day I'm going to film this video. The day comes around, I start dressing up, I start preparing to film the video. My mom comes to me and she's like, oh, something came up, you need to go and do this. First, I was sad, I was annoyed, I was crying like, okay, I want to do this. This was my second time filming the video. The first time I filmed that video, the lighting was so bad, so I had to refilm it. So you can imagine my frustration. I was just like, I'm trying to do something with myself, but something keeps coming up, keeps you people are not giving me chance. I don't have the freedom to do what I want. I always, but I had to just call myself to the like, wait, I'm the one that want this thing. This is what I want. So why is this getting to me? If I want to do this, if this is my passion, if this is what I want to do, I should be ready to work for it. Even if it means I'll film this video 5 times, I'll put in the work. Nothing good comes easy, so I should be ready to put in the work. I only filmed it 3 times sharp, but the final result, I like the final result more than the first two I tried to film. So everything happens for a reason, but you should be ready to put in the work. Anytime something happens, try to think positive. What's the positive thing you can think out of it? Stop having the negative mindset or stop that victim mentality. Oh, because this happened, I'm so sad. Okay, that means I'll not post. I'll not post them because this happened. Try to go out of your way to make it work. Try to find a solution. This is where communication also comes in. If I discussed with that that okay, on this day I want to do this. To be honest, I would have said Thomas she asked me to do because it was something important. But if it was something that wasn't so important, she would understand that okay, I'm busy and I will not be able to I will not be around to help out what she wants to do. So communication is key when you're dealing with your parents. Try to let them know your plans. Have conversations so you know what they expect you to do so that there will be no friction. To be honest, communication with parents won't work all the time because when they need you, they need you. None. I remember the time I was trying to have a conversation with my mom. This particular day every week, I want to be filming, and she just turned it down. Like no, she said no, and I need you to do this on this day. I need you this every week. I need you this day, so you cannot even film me. But now being able to come to a compromise every week, I have conversation with her. Okay, what do you need me to do? Which day is okay for you? I will not be around all day. And so far, it's going well. It doesn't work every week. Some week there's no time at all. Like this is currently 12 p.m. I'm filming this video at 12 p.m. because I have no time during the day to film. I've not had time during the day to film. But a video has to go up every week. Anyhow, I have to film the video. And I don't even have ring lights. I had to borrow this ring light from someone to film this video because I just have to. So you just need to have that mindset. Anyhow, I have to do this thing. Don't make excuses. Don't stop having the victim mindset. Just be ready to work for what you want. It's your passion, it's your goal. So be ready to work for it. Don't wait for anybody to spoon feed you or don't feel entitled that anybody is going to help you to do it. For people who are already earning, see it as an advantage. It's an opportunity for you to save up, to invest in yourself, invest in your business. There are a lot of things you can. Things are really expensive. Rent is expensive. Transport is expensive. Food are expensive. Think of all what you'll be spending on if you're staying on your own. So see it as an advantage and save up. Save up so if you find by the time you're finally moving out, you're moving out to a very comfortable space, you are happy, you have everything you want. See it as an opportunity. You can see chores as just a repayment for all the free things you are getting in the house. You are getting a lot of things for free. Just see chores as the exchange you basically have to make to get those free stuff. That's your payment. And if you're earning, it's easy for you to pay someone to do it for you. So take it as an opportunity. Don't be so quick to move out. A lot of people are so quick to move out, then they end up living from hand to mouth. They end up not being able to even achieve their goals because whatever money they get, they're spending it trying to survive. So you can pick the wise route and make sure you are established before you leave your parent house. Depending on the environment, depending on how toxic it is, because some people have toxic environment. So it all depends, but don't be so quick to move out. Try to think of all the opportunities you can get while living with your parents. A lot of the ladies we see now, they're not staying with their parents. They have the freedom and you feel like that's what's making them successful. But if you don't have the discipline and if you don't have the zeal to actually do the work, even when you're on your own, you won't be able to put in that effort. So don't just sit down and say, until I move out of my parent house before I can become successful. We are going to break that stereotype. Yes, me and you. Do you agree? If you agree, please click on the like button and subscribe if you would like to see more content like this. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. And until then, stop making excuses. Get to work. Bye.